What's going on, Mop Crew? I'm gonna do a little deck tech for one of my favorite commander decks. It's Jetmir Nexus of Rebels. I actually own the Secret Lair version. Um, Creatures you control get +1/+1, or +1/+0, and have vigilance if you control 3 or more. It gets another +1/+0 and trample on top of the vigilance if you control 6, and then it gets double. They get double strike and another +1/+0 if you control 9. He's a 5/3. He's a game ender. Naya M1, and he's a 5/4. Real good. I went creature tokens with it. I love my token decks. Um, I run Elspeth Knight Errant. The original Knight Elspeth. Get you a soldier. Makes a creature +3/+3 and fly, and then gives you an emblem if you get her up high enough to make all your stuff indestructible. And then I also run Elspeth's Son's Champion. She's the third iteration of Elspeth. She costs 6. She's a 4 loyalty planeswalker. She puts 3 dudes out. Then you for a +1, you neg 3 her, and she nukes the board anything 4 or higher. So that includes your stuff. And then she gives you an emblem at 7 that gives all your stuff +2/+2 and flying. Elsbeth is a very good planeswalker. I'm going to end up putting the new Elsbeth in that doubles the tokens you put in. Then we're moving on to the creatures. Adeline, Resplendent Cathar. Power is the number of creatures you control, and whenever she attacks for each opponent, you make a 1/1 human creature attacking each opponent or planeswalker they control. Good card. Token gen. Then I got Aurelia above the law. Flying Vigilance Haste 4/4. Whenever a player attacks, that means any player, with 3 or more creatures, I draw a card. So if me, Trig, and a couple of the other guys were playing, and Trig attacked my buddy D, I would draw a card if he attacked with 3 or more guys. Shout out to Trig and D. Whenever a player attacks with 5 or more, Aurelia deals 3 damage to each of my opponents and gains me 3 life. So she lightning helixes essentially. Mana Dork, Absence Pilgrim, test for a white, 1/1 for a green. Venture Zendikar, great token gen. Enters battlefield, makes a bunch of 0/1s depending on how many lands you control, and then landfall, put a +1/+1 counter on each plant you control. He is not a plant, he's an elemental. Birds of Paradise, I actually have this one too. It's birds. Tap, fly, 0/1 for 1, tap it, add a mana. Champion of Lambholt, great card. It causes so many issues. It's 2 green and 1 for a 1/1. Creatures with less power than Champion of Lambholt can't block creatures I control. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under my control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Circle of Dreams Druid, it's just a bigger mana dork. It's Guy's Cradle on a stick. Crater Hoof Behemoth, also have this Crater Hoof in paper. When it's a 5/5 for 8 with haste. When it ETBs, creatures like you control get trample on +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures you control. It's a game ender. Dragonlair Spider. It's a 5/6 reacher. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, I get a 1/1 insect. Elishnorn pumps up my little dudes, weakens your dudes. Elvish Mystic, Mana Dork. Venthorn Elves, Mana Dork. Hornet Queen. It's a 2/2 for 7. Flying Death Touch. When it enters, make 4 1/1 flying Death Touchy bugs. Very good. Iroas, God of Victory. He's a 4/7. Indestructible. As long as devotion to red or white is less than 7, he's just an enchantment. But he's a creature anywhere else. He gives all your creatures menace and prevent all damage that would be dealt to attacking creatures you control. So that's great. I've Ginny Faye, Jetmir second in the deck. I have that one too. I bought these as actual singles. If I were to create one or more tokens, instead I can change them to 2/2 cats or 3/1 dog, or 2/2 cats with haste or 3/1 dogs with vigilance. I make a bunch of little itty bitty guys, so little 1/1s can easily be 2/2s or 3/1s. Mondrak Glory Dominus. If I were to make a token, I would create twice that many. And then I can pay 1 and 2 Phyrexian white. So I can either pay 2 white mana or 4 life, or 1 white mana and 2 life to put an indestructible counter on Mondrak. And I also have to sacrifice 2 artifacts or creatures. Not a problem in this deck. Nyxbloom Ancient. Trample 5/5 for 7. If I tap a permanent, any permanent, mana, rock, land, creature, triple that mana. Great card. Or in Frostfang. Attacking creatures I control have Death Touch, so that pairs great with Jetmir. As long as you got the double strike and the trample on. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player, I draw a card. Ozurtok, Deepest Foundation. Vigilance. Vigilance, if one or more creature tokens would be created, make 3 times as many. And when it dies, return to the battlefield, tapped and transformed, which it turns into Temple of Civilization. It taps for a white. 2 and a white, transform Temple of Civilization. Activate only if I attack with 3 or more creatures and only as a sorcery. So it's a second main phase thing. Another way I win with this deck is through stuff like Perforos, God of the Forge. He's an enchantment. If my devotion to red is less than 5, I honestly don't need him as a creature. I want him as the enchantment. He's 1, it's harder to get rid of, and 2, he's indestructible. When another creature enters the battlefield under my control, Perforos deals 2 damage to each opponent. And then he has an activated ability of 2 and a red. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. And then I got Scoot Swarm. It's a 2 and a green for a 1/1 with landfall. Whenever a land enters battlefield under my control, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. And if I control 6 or more lands, make a copy of Scoot. Gets out of hand real fast in the right kind of deck. Seedborn Muse. At the beginning of each player's untap step, I get to untap all my stuff. Great card for 5, and it's a 2/4 for 5. Great card. Tindershoot Dryad. I call this Baby Coma. Because it's 4 and a green. It has Ascend. If I control 10 or more permanents, I get City's Blessing for the rest of the game. At the beginning of each upkeep, I create a 1/1 green Sapperling creature token. Sapperlings you control get +2/+2 as long as you have the City's Blessing. So it's actually really easy to get in this deck. And then I got, for the last of the creatures, I have Urbrax the Hidden. Creatures I control have haste. creatures my opponent's control can enter the battlefield tapped. He's a 4/4 for 5, 2 red and 3. It's a good control card. Moving down to our sorceries, I don't have a whole hell of a lot of ramp, but it works. I have Blasphemous Act for a board wipe. Deals 13 damage to each creature, and it costs 1 less for each creature on the battlefield. So it's in this deck, if stuff's going sideways and my opponents have, and there's more than 8 creatures on in play, it's a 1 mana board wipe. Unless their stuff's indestructible, then yeah, then that's why we got this. Farewell. 6. It's a sorcery for 6 mana, 4 and 2 white. Choose 1 or more. Exile all artifacts, creatures, all enchantments, or all graveyards. Or you can do all 4, which most people pick all 4. Running Farseek. It's a ramp spell. For anything that's not a forest. Finale of Glory. This is actually a very good game ender for me. I've won multiple games with this card. Create X 2/2 white soldier creature tokens with vigilance, and if X is 10 or more, also create X 4/4 white angel tokens with vigilance and flying. Great card. And I didn't even have to attack with those tokens. Increasing Devotion. Create 5 1/1 white human creature tokens. If it was cast from the graveyard with this flashback cost, create 10 instead. So I can easily make 20, 30, 40 with this. Then I'm running Martial Coup. It's a token generator and a board wipe, a one-sided board wipe. Great card. Create X 1/1 white soldier tokens, and if X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. Then I'm running Nature's Lore. Search for any forest and put it directly in the play. And then 3 visits, same thing as Nature's Lore. And then I'm running Vandal Blast for those pesky artifact decks. Going on to our instances. I'm running Chroma's Will. It's a game ender. It's free if I have Jetmir out. Creatures I control gain flying, vigilance, double strike. Or no, I choose both, not free. This one's not the free spell. You may choose both. They get flying, vigilance, double strike until end of turn, or lifelink, indestructible, and protection from all colors. But I can get both if I have Jetmir in play. Arachnogenesis, Spider Fog. Make X1/2 spider creature tokens with reach, where X is the number of creatures attacking me. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to non-spider creatures. Great card. Beast Within. Blow something up. Because it says permanent. I need to add some more permanent blowy uppy spells. Force of Vigor. Nukes up to 2 artifacts or enchantments, and I can play it for free if it's not my turn by exiling a green card from my hand. Heroic Intervention gives hexproof and indestructible till end of turn. Path to Exile, Sword Splashers, 2 of the most optimal removal spells in my book. Nefarious Protection. It's TP. Is there anything else to say? And then I have Second Harvest. Doubles the amount of tokens I have in play. Down to the artifacts. We have Arcane Signet, Mana Rock, Soul Ring, Mana Rock, Chromatic Lantern, Mana Rock, Mana Vault, Mana Rock. This deck used to run Mana Crypt. Rest in peace. Eldrazi Monument. Creatures I control get +1/+1 and have flying and indestructible at the beginning of each upkeep, or of my upkeep. Sacrifice a creature. If I don't, sacrifice Eldrazi Monument. I have that version in paper as well. And then another win con is Halo Fountain. It has 3 abilities. 1 and tap it. Untap a creature I control. Make a white-green 1/1 citizen token. 2 and tap it. Untap 2 creatures I control to draw a card. And then 5, tap it, and then untap 15 creatures I control, and I win the game. I've almost pulled that off before. And then I have Anointed Procession for starting off with our enchantments. It's the white Parallel Lives. Aura Shards, main card, but it helps nuke artifacts and enchantments. Beastmaster's Ascension, I have to get 5 quest counters by attacking, or 7 quest counters by attacking, and it gives +5/+5. Cathar's Crusade, whenever something enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it, on everything. Cryptolitherite makes everything into a mana dork. Divine Visitation, I can trade my little 0/1s and 1/1s in for 4/4 angel tokens. Doubling Season doubles the counters and tokens I make. Belladar Retreat, I make, unless I really need the power boost, I usually just make the cats. Goblin Bombardment, a way to block sack. Impact Tremors, great card. Make a bunch of tokens. Pop, 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 pop. Murray's Wake, it's a mana doubler and a anthem. Great card. Parallel Lives, same as Anointed Procession. Doubles my tokens. Roar of Resonance. Creature tokens I control have haste. Whenever one or more creatures attack, I can pay 1 and a red. If I do attacking creature, your opponent and creatures attacking my opponent and planeswalkers they control get +2/+0. Then we got Smothering Tithe. Great. It's Smothering Tithe. It's white. It goes. And it helps get me mana. And then we have War Leader's Call. It's an anthem and impact tremors all wrapped into one compact card. Amazing card. I've won with this card. I've won with impact tremors. Great card. We're moving down to our lands. I'm running Arid Mesa. It's the Boros Fetch. Battlefield Forge. Boseiju, Who Endures. Bountiful Promenade. Branchloft Pathway / Boulderloft Pathway. Canopy Vista. I think I may have actually taken that out in my paper deck. Same thing with the Cinderglade. I can't remember, but they're still really good. They're fetchable. I think that's why they're still in here. Command Tower gives you all your colors. Crag Crown Pathway and Timber Crown Pathway. This is into Carflippy Land. Field of the Dead makes tokens. Jetmir's Garden and Jungle Shrine. Jetmir's Garden is fetchable and it cycles. Lush Porshito. It's fetchable. And it helps you surveil. Overgrown Farmland. Great card. I love these. I actually love these cards. Rockfall Vale. Oh, there it is. Same thing as Overgrown Farmland and Sundown Pass. Control 2 or more lands. They get entered the battlefield under untapped. Rootbound Crag. It enters untapped if you control a forest or a mountain. Sacred Foundry, great card. Shockland, fetchable. I'm running snow covered forests, snow covered mountains, and snow covered plains just because they're all basics and you can still use them. Spire Garden, great card. It's the Commander Land. I can't remember what they said they were called. I'm not running spectator seating. Huh. I might have to put that in. I will have to put that in. Let me rephrase that. Stomping Grounds, Shockland. Sundown Pass, we already talked about that. Sunpetal Grove. Oh. I'm not running Clifftop Retreat either. Okay. Okay, and then we got Temple Garden, the last Shockland. And then the last two on color Fetchlands. Windswept Heath and Wooded Foothills. Let's look at our tokens that we make. Make angels, beasts, cats. Excuse me. Cat, beasts, citizens, city's blessing, copies, dogs, emblems, humans, insects, more insects, plants, sapperlings, soldiers with vigilance, soldiers without vigilance, spiders, treasures, zombies, and infinite tokens. I actually have a whole bunch of these. But that is my Jetmir deck. That is actually the upgraded version of my Jetmir deck. The other version I don't play anymore. So if you the price point for this, it's about $1,200 for this version with all my fancy cards in it. It's about a with. I'm saying this is easily a 3 to a 4, even though there's only two game changers in the deck. But I'm putting it at a 4. I've won enough games to pledge that. It's one of my favorite decks to play. Follow, or subscribe, follow, ring the bell, do the things. Keep an eye out for the podcast with me and Trig. And this is Proto signing off.